Very good morning to all of you, my friends. I am CA Vipin Bohra. I'll be taking care of the most of the chapters of cost and management accounting. So I request you guys to please pay attention to what I'm teaching you guys in the session. Whatever your queries are, I'll try my level best to resolve all the queries. Further, since I'll be taking the most of the part of costing syllabus, so I'll be putting up few questions in the live session. I request you guys to participate in the session as much as possible. Very good morning, everyone. So now, without wasting time, let's start with costing. So before starting with the first chapter, that is material costing, I'll be giving you a brief about the syllabus of cost and management accounting. So let's start, guys. When talking about what all is covered in the syllabus, so the first three chapters, what we will be discussing are the major three elements of the cost. One second. The first three chapters, what we'll be discussing is the major three elements of the cost. That is material, thereafter labor, that is the conversion cost. Apart from material and labor, there are n number of expenditures that are incurred. We call them as overheads. So these three chapters we'll be discussing first. That is the three elements of the cost, that is material, labor, and overheads. Thereafter, there is one more chapter that is in continuation of overheads. We will be discussing that is activity-based costing, a very important chapter from examination point of view. We'll be discussing. The next chapter after activity-based costing, what we'll be discussing is the statement of cost, wherein we arrange all these three costs, that is material, labor, overhead, in a systematic way, in a format. We call it as cost sheet. So thereafter, we'll be discussing cost sheet. Now we'll move towards the next part of the syllabus, wherein we'll be discussing methods of costing, the various methods of costing, wherein the first part what we'll be discussing is job and batch costing. The next chapter what we'll be discussing is process costing. When talking about process costing, this method of costing is used by those manufacturing concern wherein the raw material has to pass through two or more than two processes before being converted into final product. So to calculate the cost of the process and to calculate the cost of the product, they uses for process costing. So this method of costing, I repeat again, is used by the companies wherein the raw material has to pass through two or more than two processes before being converted into final product. One more chapter we'll be discussing in continuation of process costing is joint and byproduct. What will be the treatment if two or more than two products emerge out from a particular process, or if any byproducts emerge out from a particular process? What will be the treatment that we'll be discussing in this chapter, that is joint and byproduct? One more method of costing what we'll be discussing is contract costing. When talking about contract costing, this method of costing is used by those companies who are into construction business. To record the cost of construction, they use it to record the expenditures that are incurred in the construction. They use as contract costing. So this method of costing, contract costing, is used by those companies who are into construction business. Thereafter, for the companies who are into service sector, that is hospitals, hotels, education institutions, to calculate their cost, they use a service costing. So service costing is used by the companies who are into service sector. So job and batch costing, process costing, joint and byproduct costing, contract costing, and service costing. These are the various methods of costing. Now, the costing part is over. We'll move towards the next phase of the syllabus, which is basically related to management accounting. These three chapters, that is budgetary control, standard costing, and marginal costing. These three chapters are not a part of cost accounting, but a part of management accounting, and the management uses these three techniques and for decision making. I mean, these are the tools of decision making. So calculation of cost का कोई भी लेना देना नहीं है इन तीन चैप्टर्स में से, दैट इज बजटरी कंट्रोल, marginal costing, and standard costing. It has nothing to do with calculation of cost, but yes, from examination point of view, these three chapters are very important. You will find a question of every chapter, all these three chapters in every attempt. One more chapter that is left out, we'll be discussing separately, that is integrated and non-integrated. So this is the syllabus of cost and management accounting. Right from start, the three major elements of the cost, that is material, labor, and overheads. Thereafter, the chapter activity-based costing, that is in continuation of overheads. Thereafter, the statement of cost, wherein we systematically arrange all the costs to calculate the total cost of a product. We will be discussing cost sheet. Thereafter, the methods of costing, wherein we'll be discussing job and batch costing, process costing, joint and byproduct, contract costing, and service costing. Thereafter, the management accounting chapters, that is budgetary control, standard costing, and marginal costing. One more chapter we are left out with is integrated and non-integrated. Now, this costing syllabus is of full 100 marks. Earlier, it was 60-40 long back, wherein 60 marks was for costing and 40 marks was for financial management. So somehow, somewhere we can skip some of the chapters. But now the costing is of full 100 marks. So guys, कोई भी chapter आप skip नहीं कर सकते. You have to understand each and every chapter deeply and thoroughly to crack the exams. But yes, when talking about the most important chapter wherein you will find the questions in each attempt, we can say these three chapters along with activity-based costing. These four chapters are the most important chapters of the syllabus, which we can keep in A++ category. These four chapters, you will find the question in each attempt, that is activity-based costing, budgetary control, standard costing, and marginal costing. Apart from these four chapters, all the chapters can be categorized in A category only. There is no B and C category. So selective study का concept जो है costing में apply नहीं होगा. You have to understand and learn all these chapters thoroughly to crack the exams. I request you guys to please copy this part. Very good morning, Sankaran. I do remember you. You were there in the last session. Very good morning, Komal. Good morning, Adil. I hope my board is visible to all. No worries, Sankaran. That's completely okay. So now these sessions will be the revision sessions for you. If you guys have any queries about the syllabus part, you guys can please post your queries. Miss Kiran Shukla, I request you to please refresh your internet connection. There are connectivity issues from your end. Admin sir, are you there? The board is visible? Sure, no? Because a few students has posted that the board is not visible. Huh? But it is visible. Over laptop, it is visible. The letters are visible. Uh, can you please keep the session on hold for a minute? Welcome back, guys. Now I hope the letters are visible to all. I hope the letters are visible to all. Perfect. So guys, now let's start with the first chapter, that is material. Now, before starting with this chapter, let me discuss first and the foremost thing, what is material? Now, what is material? Material is a physical object or a commodity that we use in manufacturing a product. What is material? Material is a physical object or a commodity that we use in manufacturing a product. Let's say I'm the manufacturer of this pen. What this pen is made up of? Plastic and ink. So plastic and ink are what? My material. Let's say I'm the manufacturer of this shirt. What this shirt is made up of? Fabric. So this fabric is what? My material. So I repeat again, what is material? Material is the physical object or a commodity that we use in manufacturing a product. Material is a physical object or a commodity that we use in manufacturing a product. So we can say the examples of material are what? Fabric in manufacturing a shirt, or we can say wood in manufacturing furniture, or we can say plastic or ink used in manufacturing So I repeat again, what is material? Material is a physical object or a commodity that we use in manufacturing a product. Now, this material can be further classified in two parts. That is direct material and indirect material. This material can be classified in two parts, that is direct material and indirect material. When talking about direct material, what is direct material? The material that is directly involved in manufacturing a product and have some significant value is direct material. What is direct material? The material that is directly involved in manufacturing a product and have significant value is direct material. The material that is directly involved in manufacturing a product and have some significant value is direct material. When talking about indirect material, the material play a supporting role in manufacturing a product is indirect material. Printing machine is an asset, not a material. But yes, the paper, the stationery, what we use in that printing machine is what we call as indirect material. So let me discuss this with the help of an example. I repeat again, direct material, the material that is directly involved in manufacturing a product and have some significant value is direct material. And further, when talking about indirect material, the material that play a supporting role in manufacturing a product is indirect material. Let me discuss this with the help of an example. Let's say I'm the manufacturer of this pen. This pen is made up of plastic and ink. So the plastic and ink is what? My direct material. When talking about indirect material, these pens are manufactured in machines, and for the smooth functioning of the machines, we use grease, lubricating oil in the machines. So that grease, lubricating oil in the machine, what we are using is indirect material. Another example, let's say I have a bakery and I do manufacture cake. These cakes are made up of flour, milk, then we can say yeast, cocoa powder. These are directly involved in manufacturing a cake. So we can say that is direct material. Thereafter, indirect material in case of cake, let's say my company uses few products to maintain the hygiene standards, that is hand gloves or caps. So these hand gloves and caps are nowhere present in the final product. But yes, to maintain the hygiene standard, I have to use this material, that is indirect material. Another example, let's say I'm the manufacturer of wooden furniture. Now, the wooden furniture is made up of wood. So wood is what? My direct material. But when talking about indirect material, to paste the wood, we are using some kind of fevicol or glue. That is what we call as indirect material. If you guys have any doubts or queries in direct and indirect material, you guys can please post your queries. I repeat again, we have for the students who have joined a bit late, we have started with the first element of the course, that is material. What is material? Material is a physical object or a commodity that we use in manufacturing a product. Material can be classified in two parts, that is direct and indirect material. The material that is directly involved in manufacturing a product is direct material. When talking about indirect material, the material that play a supporting role in manufacturing a product is indirect material. Another example, we can say I'm the manufacturer of shoes. These shoes are made up of leather. So this leather is what? My direct material. Again, to paste the leather with the sole, we are using some kind of glue. That is what we call as indirect material. We can say there are many more examples of indirect material. Indirect material can be at the factory level also, office level also, or selling and distribution level also. Let's say printing and stationery, what we are using in office, etc., etc. I request you guys to please copy this explanation. It's direct material, Mr. Singh. No, Darshan, that is indirect material, my dear. Yes, Mr. Soumya Kant, the grease or lubricating oil that is used in machines for a smooth functioning of machine is indirect material while we are manufacturing pen. Now, guys, this material cost is the major cost element in the total cost of the product. I repeat again, this material cost is the major cost element in the total cost of the product. So adequate management attention is necessary. So herein the concept of material control comes into picture. I repeat again, since this material is the major cost element in the total cost of the product, so it requires significant management attention. So herein the concept of material control comes into the picture. Now, when talking about what all are the objects of material control, very simple, guys. Why material control? First point, the major object of material control is that when we are procuring material from the outside supplier, we should get the best quality of material at most competitive price. So the first point of the first object of material control is what? Economy in purchase of material. We should purchase the material at the most competitive price. So the object of material control is what? Economy in purchase. Once the material is in our hand, the next object of material control is that material control ensures that there is effective and efficient utilization of raw material what we have. So effective and efficient utilization. So when talking about what is material control, a good material control ensures that first point, there is economy in purchase of material. Second point, efficient and effective utilization of material when we have the material in our hand. Yes, Mr. Sundar, yes, the packing material what we are using, cardboard, etc. The secondary packing material what we are using is the indirect material. Depends upon case to case, Mr. Avdesh Kumar. Thank you so much, Suraj. So this is all what about material control. Now, in this chapter, we'll be discussing throughout this chapter, we'll be discussing material control. So now this is all what about the meaning of material and material control. So now we have to start the chapter. If you guys have any queries in this part, you guys can please post your query. Further, those who want to copy this explanation can please a copy. Now, before starting with this chapter, let me give you a brief about what all we'll be discussing in this chapter. Now, the first point what we'll be discussing in this chapter is related to procurement of material. That is, what all bill, challan, invoices, notes are to be issued while procuring material. What is the process of procuring the material? So the first point what we'll be discussing in this chapter is related to material procurement. Now, once the material is procured from the outside supplier and once the material is in our hand, then at what value we will record it in books of accounts, that we'll be discussing in the second part, that is valuation of material received. At what value will we record at what value we will record the material that is received from the supplier, that we'll be discussing in this part. Now, the next part, after recording the value of the material, the next part is what all records the storekeeper has to maintain to ensure that there is no unauthorized issuance of stock or there is no theft of stock. So the next part what we'll be discussing is material storage and records. What all records the storekeeper or the company has to maintain. Thereafter, the most important part of the chapter, that is inventory control. Examiner do ask question on this part only. So this part is more or less practical only. Most of the time exam में जो question आता है वो इसी part पे आता है. So we'll be discussing in detail this part, that is inventory control. Now, the next part what we'll be discussing is when the storekeeper issues the material to the production department, at what value it is to be recorded. We'll be discussing valuation of material issues. That is, at what value we will record the issue of material to the production department. This work is done by the storekeeper. So this part is valuation of material issues. The next part what we will be discussing is accounting and control. Two parts, accounting and control of waste, scrap, spoilage, etc. And the last part what we'll be discussing is consumption of material. So the first part, that is how to procure the material, what is the process involved in procurement of material. The next part is valuation of material received. At what value the material that is received from the supplier we will record in books of accounts. Thereafter, what all records the storekeeper has to maintain, that is material storage and record. Thereafter, the most important part of the chapter, that is inventory control. In maximum cases, you will find question on inventory control. In maximum cases, you will find the question on inventory control only in examination. Thereafter, valuation of material issues, that covers various methods, that is LIFO method, FIFO method, weighted average method, and simple average method. So these are the various methods for valuation of material issued by stores department to the production department. Thereafter, accounting and control of waste, scrap, spoilage, etc. And thereafter, the consumption of material. I request you guys to copy this part. This is all what we'll be discussing in this chapter one by one. So I request you guys to please copy this part. Mr. Sayyid Yasir Ahmed, what is mean by economy in purchase? When talking about in simple word, सबसे सस्ते में जो material provide कर रहा है, best quality, we will purchase from that supplier only. Economy in purchase means what? That the raw material is purchased at the most competitive price. The best quality raw material is to be purchased at most competitive price. Yes, Darshan, we can say stationery, printing, and all these are the material that are used in service sector. Apart from this, the let's say in hotels, the linens are what their material, the towels are what their material. Yashi Khandelwal, it can be 30 to 35 marks. Miss Krishna Bagoria, sir, third point kya hai? Krishna, the third point is material storage and records. That is what all records the storekeeper has to maintain to ensure that there is no theft or unauthorized uses of material. Storekeepers को और कंपनी को क्या रिकॉर्ड्स मेंटेन करने पड़ते हैं कि कहीं कोई चोरी नहीं हो जाए या कोई अनऑथोराइज्ड यूजेज ना हो जाए मटेरियल का. Thank you so much, Aisha. Vaishali Bindal, that is direct material, my dear. Enough of discussion on what is direct and indirect material. Exam में नहीं पूछने वाले कि ये direct material है या indirect material है. Examiner do ask question on inventory control most of the time, but yes, on the remaining part, that is material procurement, material storage and records, accounting and control of wastage and scrap, the examiner do ask theory questions also. So guys, this is all what the summary of the what we'll be discussing throughout these two sessions on material. So let's start with the first part, that is material procurement. What is the process? Yes, my dear Darshan. This is simple average method. When talking about the weightage of this chapter, the weightage is 4 to 6 marks, but sometimes in extreme cases it can go till 8 marks. But in general, in most of the cases, the examiner do ask questions on this chapter, approx 4 to 6 marks. So now let's start with the first part of the chapter, that is related to material procurement. Now I request you guys to please download the study material from ICAI portal. I'll be referring a few points from the study material. So those who have hard copy, please open page number, one second. Those who have hard copy, please open page number, one second. 0.6. Further, the students who do not have hard copy, I request you guys to please download it from ICAI portal, giving you 2 minutes time, guys. So guys, now let's start with material procurement procedure. Please pay attention to what I'm discussing in this part. This will help you out in exams also and in your practical life also, because every company uses this procedure to procure material from the outside supplier. स्टडी मटेरियल में बहुत सारे पॉइंट दिए हैं, ये इशू करना है, ये इशू करना है, ये इशू करना है. Trust me guys, each and every point is important and significant and is practically applied in all the corporates. So let's start with the procedure of procurement of material. Page number is 2.6 guys. So let's start guys with material procurement procedure. I hope my board and letters are visible to all. Admin sir, the board is visible. Admin sir. Admin sir, are you there? I hope my board is visible to all. The board is visible. The letters are also visible. Procurement. Okay. So now guys, let's start with the material procurement procedure. Now, this material procurement process, in fact, the entire manufacturing process starts from the engineering department or planning department. I repeat again, guys. Okay, great. Thank you, Sudhanshu. So guys, the entire manufacturing process or procurement process starts right from the engineering department or planning department. Now, what these people do, these engineering department or planning department, what these people do after necessary research, what they do, they try to figure out that what all specification of raw material we have to use to get the desired output. Let me discuss this with the help of an example. Let's say I'm the manufacturer of shirt. This shirt is made up of fabric. Now, I have a unit, in-house unit to manufacture fabric also. Now, the entire process starts from the engineering department. What they do, they try to figure out that how much should be the percentage of cotton in the fabric, how much should be the percentage of nylon in the fabric, how much should be the percentage of polyester in the fabric, how much should be the percentage of lycra in the fabric. So the engineering department try to figure out that what is the specification of raw material we have to use to get our desired output. So what the engineering or planning department do, they do identify that what all specification of raw material we have to use to get our desired output. Now, once they identify the specification, write it on a paper and provide it to whom? The production department. कि भाई production department आपको ये raw material use करना है of so and so specification to manufacture the shirt. So the letter what they are providing to the production department is what we call as bill of material. So what the engineering department do? They first identify the specification of raw material what we have to use, and they provide that specification to whom? To the production department. That you have to use so and so raw material to manufacture or shirt. What they provide? The bill of material. So what engineering department do? They first identify that what all specification of raw material we have to use to get to manufacture a product, and they provide that specification in writing to the production department. That specification is what we call as the bill of material. So what is bill of material? Detailed specification of raw material to be used to manufacture product. Now, once the production department have the specification of raw material, what they will do? They will approach the stores department. Ki stores department, we want so and so quality of raw material of so and so specification. Please provide us so that we can start the manufacturing process. So again, what production department will do? They will approach whom? The stores department. What they will do? They will approach the stores department that we have got the recommendation from the engineering department that we have to use so and so quality and so specification of raw material. So please provide us. So again, how do they approach? Very simple, in writing. They request to the stores department. So what they do? They issue material requisition. What production department do? They do request the store department to please provide us the material of so and so specification so that we can start the production process. Again, the request is in writing. We call it as the material requisition. Now, agar stores department के पास material होगा, तो they will provide it to the production department. But agar stores department के पास material ही नहीं है, what they will do? The stores department will approach whom? The purchase department. What stores department will do? They will approach the purchase department. अगर stores department के पास same specification का material हुआ, तो they will provide it to the production department. But if the material is not there in the stores, not there in the stock, what they will do? That they will approach the purchase department कि we have requirement of so and so specification of raw material of so and so quantity. So again, oral communication नहीं होगा. What they will do? They will request to the purchase department, so they will issue purchase requisition. The stores department, if they have the same material in the stock, they will provide it to the production department. But if no, then in this case, the stores department will approach whom? The purchase department. Ki there is a so and so requirement of raw material of so and so quantity from the production department, and I do not have any stock in my stores. So I request you to please purchase this material. So herein, what is purchase requisition? The request made by the stores department to the purchase department to proceed for purchase. So again, this we can also say that it is an authority letter to the purchase department to purchase the material. So what is purchase requisition? We can say it's an authority letter issued by stores department to purchase department to proceed for purchase of material. If you guys have any doubts till now, the entire process starts from the engineering department. They first identify the specification of raw material, what we have to use, and they write it to the production department that you should use so and so quality of so and so specification of raw material. So what they do, they issue bill of material. This bill of material is what? It contains the detailed specification of the raw material to be used in manufacturing a product. कौन issue करता है? Engineering department. किसको issue करता है? Production department. Now, production department will approach whom? The stores department. कि we need so and so quality of raw material. Again, they will approach in writing. They will request for material. So they issue material requisition. अगर stores department के पास material है, they will provide it to the production department. But if stores department is out of stock, they will again request to whom? The purchase department. They will issue purchase requisition. It is an authority letter that you can proceed for purchase of material. If you guys have any doubts till now, you guys can please post your queries. Now, once the purchase department gets the authority from the stores department to proceed for purchase, what purchase department will do? They will approach the supplier. Again, how they will approach the supplier? Very simple, by issuing tenders. So what purchase department will do? They will issue tenders to the various supplier or request for proposal to the various supplier. So herein one more party comes into picture, that is our suppliers. So what purchase department will do? They will issue tenders or request for proposal. That supplier, we have requirement of so and so quantity of raw material of so and so specification. The interested supplier can provide us the details. So what suppliers will do after receiving the tenders or request for proposal, those suppliers who are interested will again submit the quotation to the purchase department. What they will do? They will submit the quotation. Again, the interested supplier, after receiving the tenders or request for proposal, what they will do, that they will submit the quotation to the purchase department that yes, we are interested in providing so and so quality of raw material of so and so quantity at so and so price. So after receiving the quotations from the various supplier, what purchasing department will do? They will select the supplier who is providing us or who has quoted or who is providing us the best quality raw material at most competitive price. I repeat again, after receiving the quotation, what purchase department will do? Purchase department will select the supplier who is providing us the best quality of raw material at the most competitive price. So once a particular supplier is selected, they will issue a purchase order to the supplier that yes, we are ready to go. I request you guys to please, I request you, Mr. Supplier, that please provide us so and so quantity of raw material at so and so price. So once a particular supplier is selected, what purchase department will do? They will issue a purchase order. I repeat again 3 points. The first point is once the purchase department gets the authority letter, what they will issue? They will issue tenders to the various supplier. Ki there is a so and so requirement of raw material of so and so quantity. The interested supplier, what they will do in return, they will submit the quotation that we are ready to provide so and so quantity of raw material at so and so price. After receiving the various quotations by the purchase department will select the supplier who is providing us the best quality of raw material at the most competitive price. And once selected, the purchase department will issue purchase order to the supplier that please proceed. Now, as soon as the purchase order is received, as soon as Krishna, wait for some time, please. I'll be revising it again. As soon as the supplier receives the purchase order, they will not immediately provide us the material. They will provide us a pro forma invoice. What they will do? They will not immediately supply us the material. The supplier will prepare a pro forma invoice and provide it to the accounting department of buyer. What they will issue? They will issue pro forma invoice. So, after receiving the purchase order by the supplier, what supplier will do? They will issue the pro forma invoice containing the details of the material that they are providing along with the quantity, along with the price. Pro forma invoice is not the final invoice, but a draft invoice. After receipt of pro forma invoice by the accounting department, if the terms of transaction are like that you need to pay 30% payment in advance or 50% payment in advance, what accounting department will do? They will release the payment to the supplier. Release of advance payment. They will release the advance payment to the supplier, and on receipt of payment, what supplier will do? They will provide the final invoice to the accounting department. What supplier will do? They will issue final invoice to the accounting department of the buyer. They will provide the material along with delivery challan to the stores department. I repeat again, first and the foremost thing, what supplier will do after receiving the purchase order, the supplier will provide pro forma invoice to the accounting department of the company who are purchasing material. On receipt of pro forma invoice, if the terms of transaction are like that you need to make 50% payment in advance or 30% payment in advance, so accounting department will release the payment, that is the advance payment, to the supplier, and once the payment is received, the supplier will provide us the final invoice to the accounting department and material along with the delivery challan to the stores department. If you guys have any doubts in this part, you guys can please ask me. Now, on receipt of material, along with the delivery challan, what stores department will do? They will approach the accounting department in writing that yes, we have received the goods. So they issue goods receipt note. On receipt of goods from the Supplier, what stores department will do? They will inform to whom? The accounting department ki hame hamara raw material mil gaya hai. So again in writing, that is goods receipt note. If you guys have any doubts till now, you guys can please post your query. Thereafter, two more points are left. So I just want you guys to be thorough with this part, and thereafter we'll discuss two more points. So right from start, the entire process starts from the engineering department, wherein after doing necessary research, they identify that what all specification of raw material we have to use, and they provide the specification in writing to whom? The production department. कि production department आपको ये raw material use करना है, उसे हम लोग क्या बोलते हैं? Bill of material. Yes, for the students who are finding it a bit difficult to understand in English, I am explaining in Hindi also. That is, after doing necessary research, वो क्या करेगा? Specification provide करेगा किसको? Production department को. Again in writing we call it as the bill of material. So what is bill of material? It contains the detailed specification of the material that is to be used in manufacturing a product. So एक बार इनको bill of material मिल गया, तो what they will do? They will request the stores department कि stores department हमारे पास ये requirement आया है and you need to supply this raw material. So अगर stores department के पास material होगा तो वो प्रोडक्शन डिपार्टमेंट को प्रोवाइड कर देगा, नहीं होगा तो व्हाट दे विल डू? दे विल अप्रोच द परचेज डिपार्टमेंट की परचेज डिपार्टमेंट रिक्वायरमेंट आया है, प्लीज परचेज दिस मटेरियल. अगेन they will request the purchase department by writing purchase requisition. What is purchase requisition? एक authority letter है purchase department के लिए कि you are authorized to purchase so and so quantity of material of so and so specification. As soon as the purchase department receives the purchase requisition, वो suppliers को approach करेगा कैसे? By issuing tenders. Interested supplier क्या करेगा? वापस रिटर्न में क्या सबमिट करेगा? Quotation that yes we are ready to supply so and so quantity at so and so prices. So after receiving the quotation, purchase department क्या करेगा? वो supplier जो हमें best quality raw material provide कर रहा है, सबसे सस्ते दामों में एट मोस्ट कॉम्पिटिटिव प्राइस उसे सेलेक्ट करेगा और उसको परचेज ऑर्डर इशू कर देगा. एज सून एज द सप्लायर रिसीव द परचेज ऑर्डर, सप्लायर को एक बार अगर परचेज ऑर्डर मिल गया तो वो इमीडिएटली गुड सप्लाई नहीं करेगा, वो क्या करेगा? प्रोफोर्मा इनवॉइस प्रिपेयर करेगा और किसको प्रोवाइड करेगा? अकाउंटिंग डिपार्टमेंट. और अगर ट्रांजेक्शन ऐसा कुछ है कि एडवांस पेमेंट करना जरूरी है, सो वंस द अकाउंटिंग डिपार्टमेंट Once the accounting department release the payments to the supplier, what supplier will do? They will provide the material. वो material देगा किसको? Stores department को, और final invoice देगा accounting department को. जैसे ही stores department के पास material आया along with the delivery चालान, material stores department क्या करेगा? Goods receipt note issue करेगा किसको? Accounting department को. If you guys have any doubts till now, you guys can please ask me. मिस्टर सायद यासिर अहमद, माय डियर, प्रोफोर्मा इनवॉइस के बाद एडवांस पेमेंट रिलीज होता है एंड फाइनल इनवॉइस के बाद फुल पेमेंट रिलीज होता है. I'll be covering this part of this. मिस कृष्णा बगोरिया सर, परचेज रिक्विजिशन रिपीट कर दो बिकॉज डेफिनेशन दिख नहीं रहा है. सो what is purchase requisition? Purchase requisition is an authority letter that is issued by the stores department कि purchase department please proceed for purchase of material. Purchase department please, हमारे पास requirement आया है कि हमें ये मटेरियल चाहिए, तो प्लीज आप मार्केट से परचेज कर लीजिए. ये लेटर स्टोर्स डिपार्टमेंट इशू करता है किसको? परचेज डिपार्टमेंट को. ये एक तरह का अथॉरिटी लेटर है परचेज डिपार्टमेंट के लिए कि आप ये मटेरियल परचेज कर सकते हैं. I request you guys to please copy this part. It will help you while revising for the exams. Now, If in case, after receiving the goods from the supplier, stores department will check that whether the goods what we have ordered, we have received it or not. हमने जो order किया वही receive हुआ है कि नहीं हुआ है. They will check the goods or they will check the material that is received. After checking, if they find that some items are not as per the specification or some items are damaged, then they will return it to the supplier. So they will issue material return note. I repeat again. If after checking the material that is received, what stores department will do, if some material is not as per the specification or some material is of poor quality, what as decided earlier, then what stores department will do, they will return the material to the supplier, and on return of material, what they will do, they will issue material return note. Who will issue material return note? Stores department will issue material return note. दो लोगों को issue करेगा. The first is to the supplier and second is that they have to inform to the accounting department also कि ये material हमने supplier को return कर दिया है. So don't release the payment. So this material return note is to be issued by the stores department. I'm using MRN because of the space constant. So material return note is issued by the stores department to the accounting department and stores department to the supplier. Apart from this, there is one more note that is issued. We call it as the material abstract. Again, this material abstract is issued by the stores department to the accounting department. It contains the details, the minute details also of the material that is received. So this material abstract is issued by the stores department to the accounting department. It contains the minute details also of the material that is received. So this is the entire procurement process of the material. Let me give you a quick brief about what we have discussed till now. So the entire procurement process starts from the engineering department or the planning department. The entire procurement process starts from the engineering department or the planning department. After doing necessary research, they try to figure out that हमें क्या specification का raw material चाहिए. And once identified, they will write it and provide it to the production department. So that letter, we call it as the bill of material. It contains the detailed specification of the material what we have to use. Once the production department receives the bill of material, what they will do, वो stores department को बोलेगा कि stores department please provide so and so quality of raw material of so and so quantity. अगर stores department के पास होगा तो they will provide it. अगर नहीं होगा, then what they will do, the stores department will approach the purchase department. They will issue purchase requisition. Herein, the production department again approach the stores department in writing. We call it as the request for material or material requisition. Now, stores department will approach the purchase department by writing purchase requisition. It's an authority letter for the purchase department that you are authorized to purchase so and so raw material. Once the purchase department receives the letter, they will approach the supplier by issuing tenders. The interested supplier who are ready to provide us the material, they will revert back by providing the quotation. It contains the details of the quantity, quality, and price of the material that they are going to provide. After receiving the quotation, what purchase department will do? They will select the supplier who is providing us the best quality of raw material at most competitive price, and they will issue purchase order to the supplier. Key, please proceed. We are ready to purchase the material from Mr. Supplier. Now, on receipt of purchase order, supplier, what they will do? Immediately material release nahi karega. Supplier will prepare a pro forma invoice and provide it to the accounting department of the purchasing company. On receipt of pro forma invoice, if the terms are like that you need to make advance payment, then accounting department will release the payment to the supplier, and on receipt of payment, supplier will provide the goods to the stores department along with the delivery challan, and the final invoice to the accounting department for the final payment. After detail, once the goods are received, they will intimate it to the accounting department by in writing again by issuing goods receipt note. If certain goods are not as per the specification or are of poor quality or B quality or C grade, then they will return it to the supplier and they will issue material return note. Again, material return note is also issued to the accounting department to intimate that हमने ये माल return किया, so please don't release the payment. The last part is material abstract. It contains the minute details, each and every detail of the material that is received. That is an intimation made by the stores department to the accounting department of purchasing company. If you guys have any doubts in this part, you guys can please post your query. I request you guys to please copy this explanation, giving you 2 minutes time. Himanshu Patak bill of material is to be issued to the production department, and the stores department issue material defect. The stores department issue material abstract to the accounting department. It contains the details, minute details of the material that is received from the supplier, my dear. I hope the letters are visible to all. Admin sir, are you there?
Yes, sir.
The letters are visible.
थोड़े से छोटे.
Okay. So guys, I request you to please revise what I have discussed till now. And let's take a break of 10 minutes. We'll be back with the next part of the chapter that is relating to valuation of material. So let's take a break of 10 minutes. We'll be back after the next part of the chapter. Welcome back, guys. So now, before the break, we discussed the material procurement process. If you guys have any doubts, you guys can please post your query. Further, I hope you guys have copied this explanation. Still, those who have not copied, I request you guys to please copy the explanation. Thereafter, we'll move towards the next part of the chapter, that is valuation of material received. So giving you a minute's time, 2 minutes time, I request you to please copy the explanation. Now let's start with the next part of the chapter, that is valuation of material received. Now, let me discuss this concept with the help of an example. Let's say I'm the manufacturer of furniture and I do import teak wood from Indonesia. As per accounting standard 2, whatever the cost that is incurred till the factory gate will form part of cost of material. So herein, whatever the amount paid to the supplier of teak wood, along with whatever the cost that is incurred for bringing the teak wood from Indonesia till my factory gate, will form part of cost of inventory. Let's say I have paid freight inward, carriage inward, octroi, thereafter custom duty, if I have paid GST, everything will form part of cost of material. So in simple terms, what I want to say is that value of material will be what? That is the cost that is incurred till the factory gate. Apart from the amount that is paid to the supplier, whatever the cost that is incurred till the factory gate will form part of cost of material. Now, Institute has suggested few points, so I'll be discussing these points one by one. So I request you guys to please open your study material. I'll be referring study material and I'll be referring all the points that are given in the study material. I request you guys to please open the study material. I'm discussing the valuation of material received. We will be starting with page number 2.11. I request you guys to please open page number 2.11 of the study material. So Institute has provided few points. I'll be discussing these points one by one. So page number 2.11. Let's start, guys. What all is to be included in the cost of material and what all is to be excluded from the cost of material. So let's start with the first point, that is trade discount. Very simple, guys. If trade discount is given in the question, it is to be reduced from the cost of material. Let's say I have received an invoice with the company name, invoice number, date, particulars, quantity per unit price and amount. Now invoice is like material, let's say X is purchased. We have purchased 10,000 pieces at the rate 100 each. So the total amount is 10 lakh. And let's say in the invoice it is given trade discount at the rate of 10%. So this is the final invoice that is received from the supplier. So herein, what will be the value of inventory? The value of inventory will be 9 lakh. So my point is, if trade discount is given in the question that it is, then it need to be reduced from the cost of the purchase price or from the cost of the material. So the first point, if trade discount is given in the invoice itself, then this will be the value of inventory. That is, the trade discount is to be reduced from the cost of purchase price. One more point. Let's say this much is given in the question. That is, this is the invoice. And further in the note, it is given trade discount applicable at the rate of 10%. So in this case also, the value of inventory will be how much? 9 lakh rupees. That is 10 lakh minus 10%. So the thumb rule is, if the trade discount is given in the question, then it is to be reduced from the cost of purchase. Now the next part is quantity discount. This discount is offered by the supplier for bulk purchase. If we purchase in bulk quantity, the supplier do provide us the quantity discount. So very important, guys. If the quantity discount is also given in the question, then it need to be reduced from the cost of purchase. I repeat again, trade discount to be reduced from the cost of purchase. Quantity discount also, it is also need to be reduced from the cost of purchase. Now the next point is cash discount. The next point is cash discount. What is cash discount? Now this cash discount is a conditional discount. ये actually discount है ही नहीं. What is cash discount? Cash discount is a conditional discount and it is not to be deducted from the purchase price. Let me discuss this with the help of an example. Let's say I have purchased the material of rupees 10 lakh from a supplier. Now, as per the terms of the transaction, the supplier has provided me a credit of 60 days. Supplier ने बोला है कि आप 60 days के बाद भी payment करेंगे तो भी चलेगा. But further he gave me an offer that if you complete the payment within 3 days, I'll give you 5% cash discount. I repeat again, I am purchasing goods from a supplier worth rupees 10 lakh. The terms of payment are like I can make the payment in 60 days. But further he gives me an offer that if you complete the payment within 3 days, I'll give you an extra discount of 5%. Now, to avail this discount of 5%, I have to complete the payment in 3 days. So herein, there will be a saving of 10 lakh into 5%, that is 50,000, but I have to release the payment within 3 days. On the other hand, I will not be able to enjoy the benefits of this 10 lakh for 60 days. There is an opportunity cost involved in the form of interest. I won't be able to enjoy the interest benefit of rupees 10 lakh for 60 days. So on one side, I'm getting the discount, but on the other side, there is a loss of opportunity, loss of interest. So plus minus zero, I'm not getting anything, I'm not paying anything. So that's why the cash discount, being a conditional discount, is not to be deducted from the cost of purchase. So the discount, 3 points, trade discount, if it is given in the question, reduce it from the cost of purchase. Second point, quantity discount, yes, it is to be reduced from the cost of purchase. The third point is cash discount, not to be deducted from the cost of purchase because it is a conditional discount. On one hand, एक side, एक हाथ से we are getting the discount, but on the other hand, we are not being able to enjoy the credit period of 60 days of rupees 10 lakh. So cash discount, being a conditional discount, is not to be deducted. Next is grant and subsidy. These grants or subsidies are provided by the government. government want to encourage a particular type of raw material and they are ready to bear the cost. Let's say I'm a manufacturer and I do raw material. I do procure raw material from the supplier. Let's say worth rupees 10 lakh. Now, government told me that whatever you purchase, whatever the cost to your company is, 20% will be borne by the government. Let's say I have purchased the material of rupees 10 lakh and government says that I will bear the cost, the total, I'll bear the 20% of the total cost. I'm going to provide you a subsidy of rupees 20%. We want, because we want to encourage the manufacturer to use so and so raw material. So let's say subsidy received from government is 20%. So how much we are actually spending from our pocket? 80%, that is 8 lakh rupees. So whatever the amount that we are paying from our own pocket will only form part of our cost of purchase. So in short, what I want to say is that if government is giving any type of subsidy or benefit or incentive, then it is to be reduced from the cost of purchase. Whatever the cost, whatever the cost actually borne by the company will form part of purchase price. The cost, the amount we are actually paying from our own pocket will only form part of cost of raw material. So 4 points: trade discount, it is to be deducted; quantity discount, it is to be deducted; third, cash discount being a conditional discount, very important guys. Students काफी बार एग्जाम्स में कैश डिस्काउंट भी लेस कर देते हैं. Cash discount being a conditional discount is not to be deducted. Then government subsidy, if any received in any form, is to be deducted from the cost of purchase. So this is all what about the first part, that is discount. Now let's proceed further. The next point is duties and taxes, road tax and toll tax. Let's say I'm the manufacturer of steel utensils and I'm a Rajasthan based dealer and I purchase steels from, let's say, Chennai. Now, Chennai se Rajasthan aega goods, so definitely it will be coming by road. And during transit, we have to pay the road tax and toll tax. So my point is, whatever the road tax or toll tax is paid during the transit of raw material, and if it is borne by the buyer, then it is to be added to the cost of raw material. So very important. First point, if it is the road tax or toll tax. Second point, it is borne by the buyer, and sorry, if it is road tax and toll tax, and if it is borne by the buyer, then it is to be added to the purchase price. If you guys have any queries till now, you guys can please post your queries. Any doubts, Avdesh, Bhumika, Arya, Suraj, Kiran, Himanshu, Sudhanshu, any doubts? Mr. Yasir Ahmed, Jagat Babu Sharma, Vaishali, any doubts? Tanisha Jadhav, any doubts? So when talking about the duties and taxes part, whatever the road tax or toll tax paid, and if it is borne by the buyer, then yes, it is to be added in the cost of purchase. Now let's move towards the next part, that is GST. When talking about GST, if the duty credit is available, and GST duty credit is not available, if the GST credit is available, then we have to ignore the GST paid to supplier. And if the duty credit is not available, then the GST paid to the supplier will be added in the cost of material. GST paid to the supplier will be added in the cost of material, and if the duty credit is available, then they ignore the GST paid to the supplier. Let me discuss this concept with the help of an example. Let's say I have received an invoice. Company name, invoice number, date. So this is the invoice what I have received. This cost is borne by the transport company, not by the buyer or the supplier, my dear Mayur. So now this is the invoice what I have received. Now material X 10,000 units at the rate 100 each, so 10 lakh, CGST 60,000, SGST 60,000. The total invoice amount is 11 lakh 20,000. Now, if I am getting the duty credit, if the duty credit is available, whatever the GST I have paid, that is 1,20,000, the GST I have paid, if I am getting the credit back, then better to ignore the GST, because see, my cost of raw material is how much? 10 lakh. I am paying GST how much? 1,20,000. If I'm getting the duty credit, that is, I'm getting the benefit again, then again 1,20,000 is to be deducted. So the cost of raw material will be how much? 10 lakh. So this will be the cost of my raw material. So better, if you are getting the credit back of the GST that is paid to the supplier, better ignore the GST part. When talking about if the duty credit is not available, then GST paid to the supplier will be added in the cost of material. So in this case, the total invoice amount is 10 lakh. We are paying GST of 1,20,000. Now we will not deduct because we are not getting the credit back. So in this case, what will be the cost of raw material? 11,20,000. So very simple guys, if we are getting the credit back, तो add करके deduct करने की बजाय better है ignore GST. But yes, if we are not getting the credit back on GST, we are not getting any credit on GST, then whatever the GST paid, it will be added to the cost of inventory. If you guys have any doubts in this part, you guys can please post your queries. I request you guys to please copy this explanation. I'll be discussing, Miss Arya, don't worry. Okay, Miss Arya, this question is relating to indirect taxation and this is the session of costing. So no comments. Better please attend the tax lecture on GST. From examination point of view in material costing, the examiner will provide the information clearly that the duty credit is available or duty credit is not available. Generally, the duty credit is available to a registered dealer. Rahul Jain, I'm good in cost accounting. I have no idea about GST. Please assume. No questions on GST, please. Okay. So this is all what about GST. Mr. Sudhanshu Shekhar, see, Sudhanshu is asking for the logic. So if you are paying GST to the supplier and you are not getting the credit back, it means what? The GST paid will form part of cost. At the end of the day, आपके पॉकेट से चला गया है और आपको वापस उसका क्रेडिट नहीं मिल रहा है. This means what? It is a cost to your company. But suppose if you are getting the credit back, you are paying it to the supplier, but you are getting the GST credit. That is, you can avail the credit in future. So herein, you are paying on one hand and you are getting the credit on the other hand. So better it is plus minus, it is zero. So that is the logic. So अगर आप GST पे कर रहे हैं और आपको वापस क्रेडिट नहीं मिल रहा है, तो वो जो जीएसटी पे किया ये एक तरह की आपकी कॉस्ट है. और अगर आपको जीएसटी क्रेडिट वापस मिल रहा है, if you are getting the credit back, then on one side, yes, you are paying. It's a cost to the company, but again, you are getting the credit back. So you are getting the benefit. So cost minus benefit is zero. That's why. Now the next point. When talking about the custom duty, custom duty is applicable on import of goods. So when talking about custom duty, again, if the duty credit is available, then we have to ignore. And if the duty credit is not available, then the duty paid will be added to the purchase price of material. The duty paid will be added to the purchase price of material. Vaishali Bindal, quantity discount is offered by the supplier on bulk purchase. Suppose if I approach a supplier that I want, let's say I'm the manufacturer of shirt. I approach a supplier that I want 2 meters of fabric to get my one shirt stitched. So the price will be, let's say, 1,000 rupees per meter. Now, what if I approach the supplier that I want 10,000 meters of shirt? That is, I'm ordering I'm 10,000 meters of fabric. So I'm ordering in bulk quantity. So the price will vary because since I'm purchasing in bulk quantity, I'll be getting the discount from the supplier. So this is all what about custom duty. Now, very important guys, What if in question GST is given and custom duty is given and the question is silent about whether you will be getting the credit or not? So if the question is silent about credit, then we will assume in case of GST, duty credit is available. And in case of customs, duty credit is not available. So if the question is silent about the GST and custom duty that the credit is available or not, then we have to assume, if the question is silent, we have to assume that the GST credit is available. And in case of custom duty, the duty credit is not available. I request you guys to please copy this part. This is very important. Komal chain custom duty is a duty levied on import of goods. So if you import the goods from outside India, the custom duty is levied. If you are paying the custom duty, it will form part of your cost of purchase. But yes, if you are getting the credit back, then the duty credit will be deducted. So if you are getting the duty credit back of custom duty, then it is then we have to ignore it. And if you are not getting the custom duty credit, then better to add it in the cost of purchase. Yes, it will form part of cost. That is, we call as the freight inward or carriage inward, Avdesh Kumar. I repeat again, guys, whatever the cost that is incurred till the factory gate will form part of cost of the raw material. But since Institute has provided us few points, so that's why I'm discussing all these points. Yes, Avdesh is writing that, sir, shipment container charges. Yes, these are the container charges for bringing the inventory till our factory gate, so it will be added to the cost of inventory. Waiting for your queries, guys. Any doubts, anyone? Arya, Rahul Jain, Bhumika, Sudhanshu, Vaishali, Avdesh Kumar, Miss Guduri, Suraj, Rajesh, Chinmoy. Bhumika, Keshav, any doubts? So now, guys, a question for all of you. I request you guys to please post the answer. For the students who have not attended the text lecture, the duty credit is available only to a registered dealer. No duty credit is available to unregistered dealer. So I request you guys to please post your answer that how much will be the cost of inventory in A and B. Waiting for your answers, guys. I request you guys to please post your answer. Let's see who answers first. Himanshu Pathak, always the percentage of custom duty and GST will be given in the question. Don't worry, my dear. This is the invoice that is provided by the company. I repeat again, this is the invoice that is provided by the supplier. I request you guys to calculate the cost of material, what we will be writing in our books of accounts. Thank you so much, Komal Jain. Okay, Himanshu Pathak is the first one to answer. Let me check, Himanshu. Again, I've got answer from Keshav Goyal. Again, I need to check your answer, Keshav. Let me check. Okay, so Himanshu, your answer is incorrect. Keshav Goyal, your answer is incorrect. Okay, I've got answer from Syed Yasir Ahmed. Very good, Mr. Ahmed, your answer is correct. I've got answer from Rajesh K. I think there is some calculation mistake, my dear. So your first answer is correct. Second answer is incorrect. No, Rajesh, your answer is incorrect. Subham, Mr. Shubham, your answer is incorrect. Suraj, sorry, your answer is incorrect. Himanshu Pathak, please check. This is the invoice that is given in the question. This is not the question, this is the invoice. So you have to calculate the amount. Okay, I've got answer from Mayur Gupta. Let me check. Okay, Shubham, your answer is incorrect. Mayur Gupta, incorrect answer, my dear. So till now, Syed Yasir Ahmed has posted the correct answer. Miss Arya, incorrect answer, my dear. Again, Avdesh Kumar, incorrect answer. Okay, Mr. Ustad Singh, very good, correct answer. Miss Guduri, your answer is incorrect. Miss Jayanti, your answer is incorrect. Rahul Jain, if the dealer is, see, I am not aware about composition scheme, to be very frank. So Rahul, don't use altogether different words. My point is very simple. You have to post the answer if the dealer is a registered dealer and if the dealer is an unregistered dealer. So again, Rahul, your answer is incorrect. Bhumika, 855. No, Bhumika, your answer is incorrect. Naresh, incorrect answer. Jeevan, incorrect answer. Mr. Sundar, your answer is incorrect. Keshav Goyal, where is your answer, Keshav? I have not received any answer. Sudhanshu, your answer is incorrect. The correct answer, I have got correct answer from only two students, that is Mr. Yasir Ahmed and one more, Mr. Ustad Singh. Shubham, incorrect answer. Still waiting for your answers, guys. Whatever your answers are, please do post your answers. Chinmoy Das, Komal Jain, Avdesh Kumar, Vaishali Bindal. I'm waiting for your answers. Bhumika, still waiting for your answer, my dear. Okay, I've got answer from Bhumika. It is incorrect. Miss Singh, Rajiv Kumar, incorrect answer, my dear. Let everyone try. Keshav Goyal will surely. Okay, Yashi Khandelwal, very good. Your answer is correct. Vaishali, incorrect answer. Suman Banerjee, your answer is incorrect for the registered dealer. Again, I have got a correct answer from Rahul Mohanty. Very good, Rahul. Your answer is correct. Miss Palak, your B point is incorrect. Anyone else, guys? केशव गोयल, अगर सब मैं ही बता दूंगा तो फिर एग्जाम भी मुझे ही लिखना पड़ेगा. So better let everyone try. Okay, Avdesh Kumar, incorrect answer. Chinmoy Das, incorrect answer. Suman Banerjee, very good. Your answer is correct. Okay, so let me solve this question, guys. I've got correct answer from few of the students. Suman Banerjee, yes, I got your answer and your answer is correct. When talking about the registered dealer, very simple. The first point is trade discount. How much? 1 lakh rupees. It is to be deducted. So my cost is 10 lakh minus trade discount, that is 1 lakh. It is to be deducted. Now, very important, cash discount. This is to be ignored while calculating the cost of raw material. It is not to be deducted. Plus, how much GST we have paid to the supplier. काफी students ने क्या किया? 9 lakh पे GST separately calculate किया. Guys, GST credit is available. GST credit is available on the GST paid to the supplier. So herein, how much GST I have paid to the supplier? 51,300, 51,300. But I am getting the credit back of this 51,300, 51,300. So the total GST paid is 102600, and I'm getting the credit of 102600. So ultimately 9 lakh will be the value of inventory. काफी लोगों ने जीएसटी जो है 9 लाख पे कैलकुलेट किया. इन केस ऑफ अनरजिस्टर्ड डीलर दैट अप्रोच इज इनकरेक्ट. Whatever the amount that is paid from our pocket will form part of cost. But herein, in case of registered dealer, since we are getting the credit back, so it will be deducted again. So in case of registered dealer, this will be the cost, that is 9 lakh rupees. In case of unregistered dealer, 10 lakh is my cost. 1 lakh is to be deducted, so 9 lakh is the value. Now the deduction of cash discount is not to be deducted, but yes, GST paid is how much? 102600. Am I going to get the credit back? No, because the dealer is an unregistered dealer under GST, so no credit is available. So 102600 is the cost from my pocket. So this will be 1002600. This will be the final cost. So in case of registered dealer, my cost of the inventory will be 9 lakh, and in case of unregistered dealer, my cost of inventory will be 1002600. So जिन लोगों ने भी गलती की है, please correct your mistake. Again, no need to calculate the GST separately on 9 lakh. Whatever the GST that is paid from our pocket will only form part of cost of material. No worries, Jayanti. Half of the work is done if you read the question carefully. So while attempting the question, better read the question, each and every line of the question carefully. Now your answer is correct. Tanisha Jadhav, very good. Now your answer is correct. I request you guys to please copy the solution. Okay, Suraj Baset, sir, can you please explain again? So Suraj, very important, my dear. to a registered dealer, GST credit is available. He's paying the GST to the supplier, but he's getting the credit back. So if you are getting the credit back, ignore GST. So this part you ignore. Now, the cash discount is not to be deducted. So ultimately, the purchase price minus trade discount 9 lakh will be the cost if I'm a registered dealer. But if I'm an unregistered dealer, total purchase price minus trade discount is how much? 9 lakh. Cash discount, we do not get the deduction. We will not deduct, but yes, the GST paid will be added to the cost because we are not getting the credit back. So the cost minus trade discount 9 lakh plus the GST paid. As far as cash discount, it is not to be deducted. Trade discount, cash discount, trade discount is to be deducted, quantity discount is to be deducted, but yes, cash discount is not to be deducted. I hope you guys are thorough with the concept now. Suraj, I hope now the things are clear. In case of registered dealer, ignore GST. In case of unregistered dealer, whatever the GST we are paying from our own pocket is to be added to the cost of inventory. See, Suraj, again I repeat, this is the invoice what we are getting from the supplier. This is the invoice what we are getting from the supplier. That's great, Tanisha. I repeat again, whatever the see, आपको GST separately calculate करने की जरूरत ही नहीं है. आपको जो invoice आएगा practically उसके अंदर जितना GST आपने पे किया है, that is to be added to the cost of inventory. No need to do separate calculation. Whatever that is invoice, whatever the amount that is paid from our own pocket will only form part of cost. आप बोल रहे हैं कि 8,55,000 की बजाय 9 lakh पे GST कैलकुलेट करो. Are you paying GST on 9 lakh? No. You are paying GST only on 8,55,000. So whatever the GST paid from our pocket to the supplier will only be added to the cost in case of unregistered dealer. Yes, Chinmay, I know. I want to discuss, but let me complete the concepts first. I'll be giving you one more question, a bit trickier question. So let's proceed further, guys. Now, the next part, that is penalty and charges. We are done with the basic custom duty, the GST, everything. Now let's start with penalty and charges. The first one is demurrage charges. Demurrage charges are levied by the custom department. Why demurrage charges are levied? Let me discuss this with the help of an example. Let's say I'm the importer of teak wood from Indonesia. Now, I've received a mail that as soon as the teak wood reaches the port, you have to submit the document within 2 days and you have to clear off the material. But there was a delay from my end for 10 days. और वो 10 days जो है वो teak wood custom warehouse में पड़ा रहा. So once I approached the custom authority, they levied demurrage charges. उनका ये कहना था कि this godown belongs to the customs. It is not your personal godown that you can keep the stock. So these are somewhat, we can say, the penal charges for warehousing in the penal charges for warehousing the goods in the custom warehouse. So demurrage charges being an abnormal cost, it is to be ignored. It is not to be added in the cost of inventory. So demurrage charges, it's a penal cost or an abnormal cost. So that's why it is not to be added in the cost of inventory. In fact, कोई भी तरह की abnormal cost penal charges होते हैं, it is not to be added in the cost of inventory. So demurrage charges, it's an abnormal cost. It's somewhat, we can say, these are the penal charges for storing the goods in the custom warehouse. So that's why it is not to be added. So demurrage charges not to be added. Any sort of detention or fines, if any, by whatever name called, if it is paid, then again it is not to be added in the cost of inventory. So demurrage charges not to be added. Any sort of penalties, fines not to be added. This is all what about penalties and charges. So demurrage charges, penalties, fines, detention fees, anything if paid, being an abnormal cost is not to be added in the cost of inventory. Now let's proceed further with other expenditures. Thank you so much, Palak. I appreciate your efforts. Don't worry. Next time, your answer will be correct. And I do expect a correct answer from you, Palak. Yes, for sure, Suraj. Let me complete the explanation first. So, any sort of abnormal cost or penal cost is not to be added. अगर कोई अलग नाम से ही आपको आया है कि fine paid to policeman or fine paid to GST officer or penalty levied by GST department, whatever the penalty or fine or abnormal cost is, it is never to be added to the cost of inventory. So any abnormal cost, penalty, fines are not to be added in the cost of inventory. Do make a note of it. Now, next part, that is the other expenditure, insurance charges. See, I am importer of teak wood and I do import teak wood from Indonesia. The teak wood is coming by, let's say, ship. So I need to, there is a requirement that I need to take a transit insurance from Indonesia to India. So whatever the transit insurance is paid by the buyer, it is to be added to the cost of inventory. So insurance charges, that is the transit insurance charges, if it is borne by the buyer, then only it is to be added in the cost of inventory. Again, commission or brokerage paid on purchase of material. Again, if it is borne by the buyer, it is to be added in the cost of inventory. Again, freight inward. The freight from Indonesia till the factory gate or carriage from Indonesia till the factory gate, all will be added to the cost of inventory if it is borne by the buyer. So 3 point, insurance charges, first point, commission or brokerage, second point, freight or carriage inward. If these 3 points are borne by the buyer, are borne by the purchaser, then it is to be added in the purchase price of raw material. I repeat again, insurance charges, if it is borne by the buyer, add to the cost of raw material. Commission or brokerage paid, if it is borne by the buyer, again it to be added to the cost of raw material. And again, freight inward, again if it is borne by the buyer. मैं टीक वुड इंपोर्ट करता हूं और मैंने फ्रेट पे किया अपनी पॉकेट से, तो वो मेरी रॉ मटेरियल की कॉस्ट में ऐड हो जाएगा. Next part is the cost of container. Bhumika, very simple. Bhumika, very simple. Penalties, fines, or any abnormal cost by whatever name called is to be ignored. It is not to be added in the cost of inventory. कुछ नहीं देखना है, चाहे registered हो, चाहे unregistered हो, कुछ भी नहीं देखना है. Any abnormal cost by whatever name called or penalty by whatever name called is to be ignored. It is not to be added to the cost of inventory. Further, the insurance charges, अगर मैंने भरे हैं, I am the buyer, and if I am paying the insurance charges, I am paying it from my pocket, so add it to the cost of material. Again, commission or brokerage, again, if I am paying, add it to the cost of raw material. Again, the carriage inward or freight inward, if I am paying till the factory gate, whatever the cost that is incurred will be added to the cost of material. Again, Avdesh Kumar, I am not a tax professor. I'm a costing professor. From examination point of view, the question will clearly indicate that GST credit is available, GST credit is not available. If the question is silent, we will assume that the GST credit is available. That much I can teach you as of now. Now the next part is cost of container. Very important, guys. I think one of the students want to take the screenshot. Mr. Suraj, so please copy this part. No worries, Shubham. Next time I do expect a correct answer from you. Now, when talking about the container, two parts, returnable and non-returnable. Returnable container means वापस आप return कर सकते हैं, and non-returnable container means what? One-time use container. So in case of non-returnable container, the cost of container will be added to the cost of inventory. The cost of container will be added to the cost of inventory because these are one-time use container. So the cost of container belongs to the cost of inventory only. So it will be added to the cost of inventory. In case of returnable container, that is, we can return the container back and claim the refund. So in this case, if the full amount is refundable, and partial amount is refunded. So if the full amount is refundable, it means nothing is paid from our pocket. So better ignore the, that is not to be taken in the cost of inventory. And in case if the partial amount is refundable, then cost to the buyer will form part of Let me discuss this with the help of an example. Let's say in this case, I have received an invoice wherein material X is given, that is 1 lakh, and non-returnable container is given. Let's say 10,000. And the total invoice amount is 1,10,000. So in this case, my cost will be how much? My cost of raw material will be how much? Very simple, 1 lakh plus 10,000. The containers are non-returnable. These are one-time use containers. So my cost will be how much? 1,10,000. In second case, let's say the same question wherein material X is given, let's say 1 lakh, and returnable container let's say 10,000. Total bill is of 1,10,000. Full amount, the note is given that full amount is refundable. Even though we are paying 10,000, but we will get the 10,000 back when we return, once we return the container. So in that case, what will be the cost of inventory? The cost that is borne from our pocket, that is 1 lakh rupees, will be the cost of inventory. Because even though we are paying 10,000 to the supplier, but once we return the container back, the 10,000 will be deducted. So 1 lakh will be only the cost of inventory. Again, the third question, let's say in this case, material X is 1 lakh and returnable container, let's say 6,000. Total bill is 1,06,000. Now, 2/3 amount is refundable. 2/3 of the amount is what? Refundable. 2/3 हमें वापस refund मिल जाएगा. So it means what? 1/3 is the cost of the container that is charged to this inventory. So here in my material is how much? 1 lakh. Container cost will be how much? 6,000. Since 2/3 amount will be refunded, it means the cost from our pocket will be how much? Only 1/3. So 6,000 into 1/3, this will be 2,000. So my cost will be how much? 1 lakh. So if the containers are non-returnable, हम return कर ही नहीं सकते, तो whatever the cost, it will form part of cost of inventory. In the second case, if the full amount is refundable, even though we are paying 10,000 to the supplier, but we will be getting the full amount as refund when we return the container. So in this case, this is to be ignored, not to be taken in the cost of inventory. But in third case, if partial amount is refundable, it means what? जो भी cost हमने अपनी pocket से pay किया, that will only add it to the cost of inventory. So how much we have actually paid? 2,000. That is 6,000 we are paying. We'll be getting the 2/3 amount as refund. It is given 2/3 amount is refunded. It means 1/3 is our cost. So this 2,000 is our cost. So the total cost of the material will be 1,02,000. If you guys have any doubts in this part, you guys can please post your query. Waiting for your queries, guys. I request you guys to please copy this explanation. No worries, Suraj. Yes, I know, Rajesh. Thank you so much, Suraj. So it's already 9:30. I wish I could extend the session. Thank you so much for posting the answers. I request you guys to please revise what I have discussed in this session. The next session is on Tuesday. So I'll be covering the remaining part of the chapter on Tuesday. Avdesh Kumar, I think PPT is not required as I am teaching everything on the board. So I request you please to copy what I teach you guys over the board. Rest all. Thank you so much, guys, for your time and patience. See you guys on Tuesday. Enjoy your weekend. It's Saturday and Sunday, so enjoy your weekend. Take care, study, and revise what I have discussed today in this session. Thank you so much. God bless you. See you on Tuesday. Take care, guys.